Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Rob Denise Richards' abusive marriage caught on camera. Rob alum Denise Richards' abusive marriage to Aaron Pfeifers was caught on camera during season 10 of the hit Bravo series. She and Aaron had only been married for around a year, but red flags were being raised all over the place. Keep reading for more details. During season 9 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Denise Richards announced that she and Aaron Pfeifers were getting married. They had just a short time to plan and execute the wedding. Yet, they did it and were very happy with how it all went down. By season 10 of Rob, Aaron was seemingly a different man. He was convinced the paparazzi were following him for his knowledge. Moreover, Denise was a lot harsher in her behavior and agreed with whatever he said. It was off-putting how much he and Denise had flipped from their first season. However, things got much worse when the couple attended a barbecue at Kyle Richards' home. She had it all set up for the children, but Denise and Aaron came solo. Things got tense, and the couple opted to leave. As they were exiting, Denise was telling Aaron not to say anything as they were being filmed. Furthermore, he clenched Denise's hand and had this to say to the OnlyFans star. "Don't tell me what to say. I'm going to crush your ing hand." Her co-stars heard what he had said when the episode aired and were shocked at his behavior. Aaron had been picking fights with the Rob ladies, and now, he made himself look 10 times worse. After Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans saw the resurfaced clip of Aaron Pfeifers ready to break Denise Richards' hand, were they shocked? Some may have remembered this moment as it was both scary and unnerving. At the same time, they added that everyone should have known how this would end. Good thing they caught that on camera. He should have listened to her. Funny how we all saw the episode and heard him firsthand, but no one piped up then. Some noted how Bravo and the executives should have taken action after the footage was released. Rather, Denise exited at the end of Rob's season 10 amid allegations of an affair. She did get a second chance with her family reality series, but that was canned after one season. The van doors slid shut, drowning out the noise of crew members dragging lighting rigs across the driveway. Denise Richards sat silently in the back seat, staring at her phone as if it might dissolve beneath her fingers. She'd been on camera for years. She'd lived entire eras in front of a lens, but the footage captured that morning made her feel small in a way she couldn't articulate. It wasn't the drama, not the sniping confessions, not the scandal of dinner party chaos. It was something deeper. Something raw. The day had begun like any other filming day in Beverly Hills. Sun-soaked, sparkling, and aggressively choreographed. The cast was gathered at Villa Blanca 2, a sprawling estate overlooking the canyon, its terraces hairsprayed with roses and eucalyptus. The women were there to celebrate a birthday brunch. Champagne flowed before noon, diamonds glinted in every direction. Gossip simmered just below the polished marble. Denise arrived late. She always arrived late, but something was different from the moment she stepped through the doors. Her shoulders were tight, her smile almost metallic. She hugged the others quickly, careful, calculating, her eyes never drifting far from the entryway. "Rough morning?" Garcelle asked. Denise forced a laugh. "You could say that." But the truth revealed itself in flashes. Long before she spoke a word. She flinched when her phone vibrated. Her voice trembled when someone mentioned family. And when her husband appeared unexpectedly, the air thickened with something the cameras recognized instantly. Something that could not be edited away. He walked in unannounced, tall and pressed, an almost clinical calm to his posture. Crew members exchanged glances while pretending not to watch. He kissed Denise's cheek, more of a stamp than affection, and offered a stiff greeting to the group. But it was the way Denise shrank, folding into herself, that unsettled them. Conversations stalled around the edges. The brunch table glittered with mimosa glasses, but everyone seemed to be staring at the same invisible wound. He insisted Denise move closer, then corrected how she held her fork, then whispered something sharp into her ear. Her eyes flickered. Fear, apology, fear again. The cameras rolled. When the producer suggested the group transition to the terrace, Denise's husband disagreed. "We're staying at the table," he said. It was casual in tone, but it landed like an order. Denise nodded immediately. Garcelle's brows furrowed. Sutton's eyes darted to the camera operators, who had begun exchanging silent looks with producers. Rob was no stranger to emotional upheaval, betrayals, meltdowns, divorces, but this felt different. This felt like they were witnessing something they weren't meant to see. An unease settled into the afternoon like a stain. As conversations resumed, he hovered behind Denise, correcting details as she spoke, contradicting her answers with clipped precision. When she laughed, he placed a hand on her shoulder. Firm, silencing. When she reached for a glass, he moved it closer before she could touch it. When she mentioned a project, he interrupted to say she misspoke. Denise stopped talking. And that silence was louder than any shouting match ever captured on Bravo. The cameras kept rolling because that was their job. But the crew wasn't prepared for what happened next. A producer approached Denise, gently tapping her on the back. "Can we pull you for a confessional?" Before Denise could answer, her husband said, "Not now." His voice was even polite, but his eyes were not. The producer hesitated. It was protocol to respect boundaries, but it was also their job to record what was unfolding. Cameras caught his hand tightening around Denise's wrist beneath the table, his thumb pressing into the blue vein near her palm. Denise's body jolted almost imperceptibly. Garcelle's eyes widened. She saw it. Sutton gasped quietly. It lasted only seconds, but when he released her, a faint imprint remained. The group stared. No one breathed. Denise stood slowly, wobbling slightly, as if she'd forgotten how to manage her own limbs. "I need a minute," she whispered. Garcelle rose immediately, guiding her toward the house. The husband stepped forward, but this time, two producers blocked him gently. "We'll check on her," one said firmly. He smiled, lips stretching thin. "I'll wait." Inside, Denise collapsed onto a velvet chaise, trembling. Her mascara, delicately applied hours earlier, had become a watery shadow beneath her eyes. I don't." She shook her head, hands clasping her elbows like she needed something to anchor her. "It's been worse off camera." The admission landed like static in the room. A producer stepped outside to place a call. Another brought water, though Denise didn't drink. "It's just stress," she whispered. "He's under a lot of pressure. We've just been fighting more." Garcelle sat beside her. "That's not fighting." Denise looked at her, startled. "No one's supposed to know." "But we do," Garcelle said softly. She could hear him pacing outside. Sharp footsteps, controlled breathing. The house no longer felt like a set. It felt like a cage. She knew the cameras had captured enough. She also knew Bravo was a kingdom built on behind the Hollywood Hills, leaving behind a watercolor sky of violet and rose as filming continued inside Denise Richards' quiet Malibu home. The cameras had been rolling nearly all day, nothing unusual for Rob, but the energy in the room felt different, tight, as though the house itself sensed something brewing beneath the polished floorboards. At first, Denise had seemed like her usual poised self. Her hair was sleek, her smile practiced, her tone airy as she talked to the producers about her daughter's school schedules and a charity gala she was hosting in the coming week. But every few minutes, she glanced toward the hallway, as if waiting for someone, dreading someone. That someone arrived. Her husband, Ethan Asterisk, a man with the square jaw and quiet intensity of a former athlete, stepped through the door. He greeted the crew with a stiff nod, barely acknowledging Denise. His presence landed like a cold shadow in the room. The producers noticed. The cameras noticed. And eventually so would the world. Their relationship had long carried an unspoken question. The tabloids whispered. The cast speculated. Denise always insisted everything was fine, simply private. But privacy, in Beverly Hills, is just a fancy word for hiding. Tonight, nothing would remain hidden. Tension on tape. "Hey babe," Denise said with a soft smile. It didn't reach her eyes. "You didn't call me back," Ethan replied, barely audible. Not angry. Yet, just controlled. Too controlled. "I was filming," she said. "You knew." His jaw tightened. "I texted. Twice." The cameras caught every word. The mic picked up every vibration. Moments like these were why producers never dropped their guard. Not even during dinner prep. Denise gestured toward the outdoor patio where the rest of the cast would soon join them. "Let's go outside." "We can." "No," Ethan said. "We'll talk here." The words reverberated with a dark finality. The crew shifted, still trying to look casual. No one wanted to intervene, yet no one dared look away. "I'm not doing this on camera," Denise whispered. He leaned in close, too close. You should have thought about that before you ignored me. A chill moved through the room. The smiles, the cracks. When the cast began arriving, glamorous, dramatic, smiling, the atmosphere ricocheted sharply. Denise transformed instantly. She smoothed her hair, straightened her necklace, and greeted everyone with air kisses and jokes, but Ethan hovered like a storm cloud behind her. Garcelle, stylish in white, picked up on it immediately. Everything okay? She whispered. Of course, Denise said, too bright. During appetizers, Ethan kept his hand on Denise's chair, possessive, tense. He laughed loudly when she spoke, then interrupted her stories. Every time she shifted away from him, he pulled her back with a subtle touch that was anything but affectionate. The cameras caught it all. Most of the women exchanged looks across the table. Sutton mouthed. Awkward. Kyle gently tapped Denise's arm. If you need anything, just say. Denise smiled tightly. I'm fine. But she wasn't. The moment that changed everything. The evening drifted on with forced conversation, wine glasses clinking, and the rhythmic hum of the Pacific below the cliffs. Suddenly, a crew member entered to adjust some lighting near the patio corner. The shift seemed tiny, until it wasn't. Let's take 5, a producer called. The cast dispersed. Some wandered inside, others toward the pool. Denise rose from her chair. I'll be right back, she murmured, stepping toward the house. Ethan followed. What happened next unfolded in a quiet hallway just beyond the edge of the patio, but still in view of a small handheld camera positioned for B-roll. Denise moved fast, arms crossed, head bowed. I said not here, she whispered. Ethan grabbed her wrist. Don't walk away from me. His voice was low, but sharp enough to cut. She winced. Let go, she said, struggling. You're hurting me. The camera operator froze. For a second, the world went silent, except for Ethan's ragged breath and Denise's trembling voice. The crew member took a slow step closer. Another joined. Producers rushed in. Hey, one said carefully. We need you to step back. Ethan released her, but the damage was done. The red imprint on Denise's wrist glowed under the hallway lights. She swallowed hard. I'm okay, she whispered, but her voice trembled like a glass about to shatter. Ethan glared at the camera, then at the producers. Turn that off, he said. They didn't. Fall out. Within hours, the footage became the most explosive material the show had ever captured. It wasn't gossip, arguments, or catty confessionals. It was real, raw, and deeply unsettling. Denise left the gathering early. Garcelle drove her home. Sutton volunteered to follow in her SUV, insisting she'd text every 15 minutes until Denise was inside safely. Ethan didn't return with her. Back at the production office, executives gathered around monitors in stunned silence. They discussed legalities, safety concerns, and responsibilities. Nobody dared call it drama. It wasn't. It was something darker, something that demanded action rather than airtime. They called Denise that night. They told her, "You're not alone. We're here. Whatever you need, we'll help." Her voice was small. "Thank you." She asked them not to air the footage, at least not yet. She wanted time to breathe, think, protect her family. The producers agreed. But in Beverly Hills, secrets are currency, and someone always sells. The leak. 2 weeks later, an anonymous source tipped off a media outlet about the clip. Words like abusive, violent, and caught on camera exploded online. Articles multiplied. Social media erupted. Fans demanded truth. The story dominated headlines, drowning out every other Rob scandal. Denise stayed silent. Inside her home, she focused on her daughters, her work, herself. Therapy sessions filled her days. Friends rotated visits. The cast rallied with quiet solidarity. Garcelle brought groceries. Kyle dropped off flowers. Sutton donated to Denise's favorite charity publicly, hoping to shift attention to something positive. Meanwhile, Ethan vanished from cameras, social media, and public life. Whispers said he'd fled the state. Others claimed he was trying to negotiate with producers. Some insisted he wanted the footage destroyed. No one knew for sure. Except Denise. And she wasn't speaking. Strength reborn. Eventually, Denise returned to filming. Not as a woman hiding bruises behind glam but as someone reclaiming her narrative. She sat before the camera, hands clasped, jaw steady. "I've lived public life for a long time," she began. "I've shared the good, the messy, the chaotic. But some things, I kept quiet because I thought silence protected my children. I thought it protected me." She paused. "I was wrong. Silence protects the wrong people." Her story unfolded, not as spectacle, but as survival. She never named details. She never vilified. She simply told the truth of a woman learning to walk away from something that once felt like love. When she finished, the room was still. The crew blinked back tears. Denise exhaled, shoulders lighter. "This," she said, "is the start of something new." Final scene. The season finale aired months later. It was somber, powerful, human. A final shot lingered on the Pacific Ocean. Endless, cleansing. Over the waves, Denise's voice echoed. "You can rebuild your life. You just have to take the first step." The camera faded to black, and Beverly Hills exhaled.